a few of these areas are a bit undercooked. In Gold and Silver, there's so much left up to your imagination in the ruins of Alph that it feels less like you're piecing together the remnants of an ancient civilization, and more like you're solving disconnected picture puzzles depicting completely random Pokemon. Unknown are a bit too esoteric for my liking. Instead of asking how did these things come to be in a wondrous sense, I start asking myself why a species exists modeled after every letter in the English alphabet. As a where are they now side attraction, it fulfills its purpose beautifully, but you can also mindlessly chew through it in a matter of hours. Every gym is an absolute cakewalk, and there's almost nothing going on in between gyms. They really try to occupy your time by forcing you to go to the power plant and blocking certain paths, but it's not like you get any new dungeons to conquer or something, it's just Kanto. Again. They even make you wake up Snorlax again. Hell, even the Johto Victory Road is just the one from Kanto with less stuff in it. Mount Silver, really the only substantial new content in the post-game, is a couple of rooms long with the boss fight as the main attraction. There aren't nearly as many Team Rocket grunts throughout Johto, meaning that while you are occasionally stuck fighting really weak, samey Pokemon every now and again, it will never reach the peak annoyance levels of Kanto. That does mean there's not really a main antagonist, but I don't think there needed to be. Giovanni served his purpose in Kanto and definitely didn't need to return. You get your fill of story fights and legendary events outside of gym leaders. Though I do think there's a bit of a problem with some of these important characters, a problem I didn't have with the characters in Red and Blue. Your rival this time, as Chugga Conroy aptly put it, the red-headed stepchild, is another brand of jerk rival. Less of a cocky schoolyard bully, and more a power-hungry, edgy preteen who doesn't believe in the power of love. He's fine. I don't dislike him, but I also don't really ever think about him much. I'll admit, Blue was a tough act to follow. He was such a simple rival that all he had to do was aggravate you a bit to raise the stakes for the championship match. He's a tad rude, but at the end of the day, his spirit was one of an overzealous trainer who got ahead of himself. Silver is just mean. He hates anyone who he considers to be weak, constantly derides them for being weak, and declares that he will be the strongest in the world. He doesn't simply receive a starter from Professor Elm, he steals the damn thing. His arc is obvious to anyone with a set of functioning brain cells. He's going to learn the importance of loving your Pokemon. And he does. Kinda. By the very end of the post-game, there's a faint sliver of hope that he finally understands what he needs to do. Lance. A former Elite Four member. And he's... how do I put this lightly? Oh god, he's just so boring. He stamps out Team Rocket grunts like they're nothing at all, and his dialogue desperately wants him to appear stoic and badass, but he's about as interesting as a plank of wood. He's a do-gooder strong guy. That's it. And while that worked for a semi-throwaway member of the Kanto Elite Four you only spoke with for a few seconds, for a champion that you team up with at various points throughout the game, that seems a little lame. Could you not have given him a few more unique Pokemon? You know, was it truly necessary to give him 3 Dragonite? Could you maybe have included one of the brand new Dragon types you introduced in this generation for his team? Especially since he's apparently willing to use non-Dragon types. Or does Kingdra not resemble a dragon? Can it truly get more boring than half of his team consisting of Dragonite? I suppose all of his team could have been Dragonite. I want to see the timeline where that ended up happening. I know people aren't going to like this, but Lance's underwhelming presence is part of the reason I've never been a big fan of the champion theme for Gen 2.